Hello, my name is Ronald Machuca, and this is a testimonial video for Dr. Michelle Johnson. By the way, when I met her, she was Professor Michelle Johnson. So I want to say congrats on your accomplishment of obtaining your PhD. That's a huge milestone, and I just want to say congratulations, Dr. Michelle Johnson. So I'm gonna take a few minutes and pretty much speak on how Dr. Michelle Johnson influenced and impacted my life, and not only that, but how she pretty much impacted my educational career as well. I met Dr. Johnson 6 months before I actually obtained my GED, and then after obtaining my GED, 6 months after, I enrolled to Houston Community College where I took my first class, which was called EDUC 1300. So this is a class that every student has to take, especially starting a community college. And this is where I first met Professor Michelle Johnson. At that time, I believe she was working on her PhD. That being said, Dr. Michelle Johnson met me, and not only that, but she met me in my pajama pants. I actually walked in her class in my pajamas with sandals. So right off the bat, I could pretty much well, at the time I didn't know, but she actually told me at the end of the semester that she didn't expect much of me at first, at the beginning when she saw me, especially the way I was dressed. But either way, Dr. Johnson became a major influencer and contributor to me being successful in every aspect as far as my educational career comes. So I want to say that the way that we started was that Dr. Johnson made us do this project where we had to speak on why we were in school. So I took it upon myself to be authentic and pretty much share my background story on why I was in school and what motivated me to pursue a educational career. So before being in school, I was working a dead end job, and not only that, but I was waking up around like 5 a.m. in the morning, and I was actually a garbage man, which is pretty much a trash man. So I was working in a waste company, picking up people's trash. Um, so that being said, I didn't even have a high school education. Again, this was before I got my GED. So it took me a while to realize that I wanted more. And not only that, but I wanted to pursue more. I was actually 22 when I met Dr. Johnson. So it took me a little while to realize that, hey, I needed to go back to school. So my motivation was that I wanted more. The job that I had paid my bills. It paid. It kept me. It kept me pretty much floating, but I was always in a financial constraint. Economically, I was not well off. Not only that, but it was just stressful in my life financially. And at that time, I had a girlfriend, and we were paying apartments. So we were struggling just to pay rent, and not only that, but utilities. It was awful, and this is what pretty much opened up my mind. And I always heard that education opens up more doors as far as when it comes to job wise. So when I first met Dr. Johnson, I saw that she was very approachable, and she was very, not only that, but she was very blunt to students, which I loved because she was very straightforward. She only meant the best. She wanted us to be successful, even though she knew that not everybody was going to be successful. And I remember her saying the first week that you know uh, there was like 30 of us, 30 students, and that by the end of the semester there was only going to be half of the class. And not only that, but actually by the end of the semester it was only like 6 7 students, and I was one of them, which I didn't want to be part of the statistics of dropping out. But Dr. Johnson, she saw something in me that I didn't even see. So Dr. Johnson approached me, took me under her wings, started giving me advice, start becoming. She became a mentor, which at that time I didn't really have, and she really started getting involved in my educational career and how to be successful as a student and become a better student. She pretty much showed me and taught me on the fundamental of building a structure on how to build, better study habits. How to write, how to communicate, how to, don't be afraid to ask questions to professors. So she was very dynamic when it came to pretty much letting me know on what I have to do to become a better student. And not only that, in the process, I became a better man and a better person. So she was the foundation that I needed for me to actually, I was already motivated, but she gave me more motivation and pushed me to my limits, made me accountable for all my assignments. Not only that, but for my mistakes, if I made any, which I made a lot, and but she never judged me. Probably not the first day, but hey, when you walk in with pajama pants, I believe even now, I would definitely judge that person, but but hey, people can prove you wrong, and I'm one of those that actually was able to prove uh, a lot of people in my life wrong. So that being said, after community college, in her class, she also was teaching us on what we could do after community college. And one thing that she always told me was to transfer to a major university, which, as you see in the background, I graduated from the University of Houston, 2018. So I have a bachelor's in finance, and I have two degrees, two minors, which one is in political science and one is in accounting. That being said, I was actually in school for 5 years. One and a half was at the community college, then I transferred to Houston University, and then this is where I finished my undergrad. This being said, Dr. Michelle Johnson is a still major influence in my life, and actually, we still nowadays, we still greet each other, we still check up on each other, and she's still being the same person that I met. She's a great motivator. She tells you like it is, which I believe that's how it should be. She never catered to me. She just told me what I had to do and what was the reality on, what I needed to do to be successful. So she really pushed me to my limits. I think by challenging me, that's what made me a better student. Because at the end of the day, I believe she always challenged me, and I always wanted to prove her wrong, if not, then right. But now I know that she did it for a purpose, and Dr. Johnson will forever be a major influencer in my life, and she's a person that I will never forget until the day that I die. She's a major contributor to my success. Now, I actually, me and my uncle, we own a landscaping company, and I'm also a business developer for a dental office in Houston. And be mindful, graduated 2018. So every time I think about my success or I accomplish a goal, I always go back to Dr. Johnson, and just take a look back at my life on how, if it wasn't for her, who knows where I would be. Um, you have a lot of professors in your life, but not every professor is going to impact your life, or is going to be involved in your life, or it's going to take time in their life to be in your life, and make you see the potential that you have in you. But Dr. Johnson actually did. She actually took her time from her life to devote to my life as a student so I could be successful. Now, 2020, I could say because of Dr. Johnson, I'm able to strive for more, accomplish my goals, set goals in the long term, and set goals in the short term. In the short term, and every goal that I accomplish, I'm always thankful for Dr. Johnson on being my first mentor in my life and contributing to the mindset that I have as far as pursuing more, wanting more, being a better professional. Um, I became a great student. Not only that, but she was able to offer a lot of opportunities that I could create in my life as far as her opening my mind so I could open other opportunities. And I believe in paying it forward. So, Dr. Michelle Johnson, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done in my life, and you always will be in my life. And yes, I remember I haven't forgotten yet. I remember that red Corvette. Or was it Mercedes? But either way, thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you for being a great person and a great teacher and a great motivator and a phenomenal mentor. Thank you so much.